Alright, we're back. We're going to conclude the race, the no prep race at Shadyside today. Talk about what happened in E3. And then we're going to go through the rest of the race and see how far we get. I feel like we should talk a little bit about something. If you're not familiar with drag racing, you're probably noticing a certain thing that keeps happening. And that is that over and over again, in the side view here, when we look at cars we're racing, they're hanging with us for about a second or so, and then they disappear, right? And if you're not familiar with drag racing, this may be a little weird to you. But what's happening is they know that they have to race a car that is both fast and consistent. So they're really putting some stuff in their tune-up to try to go fast. And you have to take chances sometimes in drag racing to get to the next round. And they're coming out about a second or so and then losing the tire, shaking or whatever, and can't get down it. And that keeps to be, and like I say, it's a theme that happens over and over. Well, that's why, because they know they've got to get with it. And right now we're in a position where we're forcing people to overplay their hand a little bit. But that's drag racing. That's how it works. But anyhow, E3, let's look at some data here. Nothing out of the ordinary, really. So we're riding, let's look at the profiler. We're just riding the curve a little bit, and it's a little over it, so it's pulling some timing through here to just maintain the tire speed. Slips a little bit. On BeerMoney, we know we have wore out tires, and I think Lyle's at this point have been trying to get them and can't get them because of the Rona and whatnot, and we're kind of just suffering with kind of wore out tires, and we're suspicious that is a lot of our problem because it's just kind of, they got a lot of passes on them, and we're wondering if that's what's causing our deal there. We'll probably revisit this discussion in a later episode of Real Good at Doing Stuff that's unedited right now, and we'll see what happens with a change there. So here's the corrections right here that we're making through just riding that little path on the profiler. Once we're in here, we're stuck. It's hooking and cooking. Just little nibbles out here where we're just running up close on the profile, stuck out the back for the most part. There's a pretty good slip right here on the shift, and that's where I keep trying to get the play with the shift timing. And some of you asked why I do the 1-2 shift with time. That's not something I do on every car by any means, but I play with it on this car because the transmission we have is a stock gear 400, which is obviously not optimal for what we're trying to do. But we're trying to when you shift, you kind of have this can work both ways, and I've been trying to play with what makes it happy. If you shift earlier, you're shifting while the converter is looser. It's not as locked up and tight, right? Or as hard, as I like to say. Okay, well, sometimes maybe that works. The downside to shifting earlier is that you're shifting with a lower track position, right? You're not going as fast, and the car isn't as far out down track. So, like I say, it can go both ways, and I had moved it out some, trying to take advantage of that, but it just seems like that's not, on this lane, that pass didn't really help that much. So, for E4, that's one of the things I did was move that back from 1.5 to 1.4, right? These are subtle changes. More or less, we're going down the track, and it's fast. So we're not really making a bunch of changes. You can see we got a little bit of wheelie control going on right here. We're pulling 1.4 degrees. This is pretty much normal for the car. You see, even in tire slip, it's doing that, right? We're still accelerating, Yaw is very manageable. Really not bad at all, that pass. It's drivable. Lyle seems to be happy with it. So we're not going to make big changes on this pass. We're going to change Let's go to comparison. Timer from 1.5 back to 1.4. I move it in a little bit. And I think that's pretty much all we did on that pass. I changed the rev limit up high for some reason. I really don't even remember why I did that. Maybe I'm just an idiot. We didn't. I just wanted to move it a little bit out of the way. I moved it from 81 to 83. It's been a month now, so I don't remember what was going on. But for some reason, I wanted to move that out of the way. That's pretty much all we're changing. Now, our strategy for E4 is based on a few different assumptions. One, the car that we have to race in E4 is a nitrous car that I just watched backfire pretty hard on the top end. And I'm thinking there's a pretty good chance he's hurt his motor. And so it's just one more. We're already fast. We know we're fast. So you don't want to, in drag racing, you don't want to take unnecessary risks. And we just saw the guy that we got to race next round bang it pretty hard on the top side. So we don't know. Maybe he's hurt, maybe he's not. But I'm not going to take any chances for E4. So that's all we're changing. Now let's go to the starting line for E4 and see what happens. Okay, so I have no inside information on what happened with the guy in the other lane, but I'm just guessing maybe he did hurt his motor, and that because that thing sneezed up there when he let off the button, or who knows, maybe it just sneezed anyhow. I don't know, but either way, he didn't make the move, and we just cruised on. So there's really not a whole lot to be said about that. Let's just look at the data real quick. Same thing. Oil pressure, super duper. Let's go to the TC. Driving around a little more. Not bad. You know, the TPS is, he just wiggles it a little bit right here. Evidently, just got a little out of shape, but if you look, it's not really, I don't believe, much from wheel speed getting out of control. It's a lot of times in this type of racing, it's not about just blowing the tires off. It's about which tire has more grip than the other, because obviously the one that has more grip is going to push you around a little bit, and or vice versa, depending on how you look at it. And that's going to drive you around. Once again, our problem here is for one, wore out tires, but the other thing is we got a 10-inch rim, so the the wheel wallers around a lot in the tire. I feel like if we just changed rim size, this purple line here would straighten right out. I can pretty much guarantee that. Or it would get much more drivable. But right now, it is what it is. We're racing with the car we got. So that's what we're dealing with. Now, let's just look at the profiler. Same thing. Cruise along here. It actually self-learns a little bit because this drive shaft path's accelerating a little too fast. And then we're just riding through it here. Get above it a little bit right here. It corrects some. Down here, you see the correction. Down underneath it. Really, it's possible that this could have been pulled down a little bit and maybe helped. Like I say, no prep's weird. You know, here we are. We're accelerating good, but there's a certain amount of slippage that's tolerable, right? I think we're really stuck right here. You know, so we probably really need to add power there. But, you know, and we're right on it right here. A little bit of slipping around, but not bad. It's really just up and above. You can see, like, this wiggle here will correspond with the timing corrections a lot of times. Right, you can watch it go back and forth in the corrections. Then out the back, we're underneath it. Everything looks good. Little wiggles up here, but nothing really. So anyhow, for the finals, we're not changing anything. We're leaving it alone. We think we have the thing covered, and they got to come to us. You know, so like I say, we're not going to make any undue changes when we don't really feel we need to. We're just going to leave it alone. Sometimes the tuning decision you need to make is to do nothing. That's perfectly okay. So let's take this to the start line and see what happens in the finals. All right, that's that. I told you guys this is going to be the most exciting TV show you've ever seen. I don't know what the surprise is about. Anyhow, those guys had a little bit too much in it. Swapped lanes. Fortunately for everybody, we were already gone. And that was that. That wraps up Shadyside's no prep race. I think it was like the 8th of August or something. So, there's only a few things left to do. That's stand up on the car and drink beer, whatnot, celebrate, party time, high fives all around. So we'll be back in a few days and we'll talk about the upcoming race, or now in the books, at Wilkesboro. Same thing. No prep, BeerMoney Wilkesboro in a few days. We'll get around to that. But that's it for today. Subscribe, like, comment. Please. What the hell's the matter, you people?
impossible as long as I